Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Path of Champions. This time we will be taking on Ahri against Gangplank. This was from a special commentator request. Shout out to Squid for wanting me to cover this one. I know that I have already passed all of the Path of Champions, but in this one, I will limit it to only having one common ability, which I used to get Ahri to be overwhelmed. The reason why is because we can push for a lot of damage just simply by attacking with Ahri, and her leveled up ability will have her be able to, attack 3-4 times with overwhelm, which will surely close out the deal. To make sure that I get Ahri as fast as possible, my first power is to be able to draw one, make it fleeting, right? It's just to make things a lot faster. And with the studded leather that I have with Ahri, she is a 3-4, enough to be able to take on the common 1-drops, but also strong enough to tank a 3-hit. So that's going to make it a little bit easier. Check out here, this is just a quick simple match, getting the dancing droplets out there, using my Ahri to block, and then being able to spam the field with the Keeper of Masks. I could have done this next turn, but then I noticed that we pretty much won. I should have just gone for the blank attack, but I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just trying to make sure that everything's working. With the Keeper of Masks, it brings everything up to a 1, and so now I can definitely win. This is a very easy matchup. I would say that Ahri against Gangplank is actually a pretty decent matchup, because anything that they want to destroy we can recall. We also have natural recall, so their Gangplank won't be able to attack us so easily. And as you can see here, I'm just trying to see what I should get. If I remember correctly, I do end up getting the Scatter Pot. That makes things so I can be able to grab spells from my deck a lot easier. And then I also get the Riven. I think Riven and Ahri are a very good mix in Path of Champions, for the specific reason that we can use the blades or the blade fragments in order to get Ahri to be very buff, very strong with overwhelm. Maybe we can get her to a 6-7 and then attack 2 or 3 times with her, and that's game. That's 21 with elusive quick attack. Or if maybe we just want to push through a lot of damage, then we can also do that. I'm trying to see if there's anything I can do here, since they are drawing a little bit better, which is why I wanted my first ability to be able to draw as quick as possible. I decided not to put the Riven out there, but instead the Ahri, to be able to slowly be able to wither them down. You will see here, however, that I have a very peculiar thing here. Because I recall here, this might have an ability that you guys don't have, and this will just come with time, because it's impossible for me to get rid of the ability on this playthrough. The ability is just natural to my Nexus. Once you leveled up enough, Ahri gets the ability, or Ahri's Nexus gets the ability, that if I recall a unit at the end of the turn, their weakest unit will be recalled. And so that was something that you might not have, but I was playing around Ahri being captured, because even if they did have the other player on the field, I was going to pose for game right here, and so they would have to block with their person, and so it would bring Ahri back to my field, and then the next attack I'll be able to win. So it's not that big of a deal. All it did was speed up this game by basically a 2-turn quick. I may have taken damage. I could have just blocked with my Keeper of the Mask, so really it doesn't matter. The other cool thing that you see here is that if we were to have a rally or an attack, I can always bounce back my Riven to resummon her and then get an extra fragment for the next time. So I was thinking Riven and all of her fragment buddies will keep giving me power-ups for Ahri. You see that I'm gonna get the, if I remember correctly, I get the Will of Ionia. The reason why I want to get that is I'm thinking for the end game, Gangplank. As soon as I summon Gangplank, I want to bounce it back to their hand. I don't want that monster to be outside, especially because most of my units are particularly weak. We can recall them, but they are kind of weak. They so happened to get a elusive unit there, so I had to block. But it's not a big deal. I have another Morant here. I am waiting for their powder monkeys to go away, so that way I am able to get a little bit more things out of value. And you can see here that they will be attacking with the powder monkeys. I'm just going to be taking quite a bit of damage, but I did get that wolf, the stalking wolf, because it will be very useful. I can pull the keg with something, and then I can pull something else with the wolf, and so I'm able to really choose. For example, I can pull in with the wolf, use Ahri right next to the wolf to then be able to strike both, right? Or maybe I don't want something to block with Ahri, maybe I can pull in the elusive with the wolf and then have the rest of the attack with Ahri. And so that's what I was thinking. They're going to be using that one thing, a harpoon, and so I'll be able to bounce back. I wanted to bounce back that 2-2, but then I thought, well, I could just kill it. I don't want to bounce it back to your hand. They can get a powder keg and maybe get something stronger. And so I am just trying to level up my Ribbon. The other cool thing about Ribbon and Ahri is that they are both low cost units and low cost decks in general. You want to waste a lot of more mana on spells, so that's exactly what I'm doing here. Making sure they only get one powder monkey from here, as opposed to getting 2 or 3 turns worth of powder monkeys. I'm really dropping down my health. So what I'm thinking of doing is dropping down the Cloak Master to be able to block. And this is specifically only so I can have a bigger attack for next turn, and I believe next turn I should be able to win, especially after getting that fragment. That fragment, I want to separate the cause because I did see that they have a harpoon, and so regardless of where they want a harpoon, I don't want Ribbon to have all of the strength because they can kill it, and so that's why I distributed the attack. Outside of Will of Ionia, I'm also going to get the Defiant Dance for further recall. Again, it's all about recall. And right here I get a very broken thing for the Ribbon, which is when she summons, she refills the spell mana, which basically means on my 3-drop I not only have a Ribbon, but I can use 3 mana, let's say for a new unit, right? Or what I'm thinking of using those 3 manas are to use the fragments. And so, you know, if I summon her and I have 3 of them, I'm able to instantly level her up in 1 turn. You can see here that they're not really pulling a lot of good things, and so I'm thinking this is going to be a pretty easy Swain shift. You're going to see right here, I summon the Ribbon, get the fragments, but then my Nexus heals yet again. But at this point right here, I can instantly level her up. I didn't want anything to come out of this. By that I mean I didn't want them to drop any units, any 1-drops, or anything that can make it a little bit easier. And you can see here the Defiant Dance is coming in handy by bouncing back their 4-cost unit. I have my Will of Ionia for their Swain, which is totally okay. I let those 2 hit because I know, okay, I'm gonna win with Ribbon pretty quickly, pretty aggressively, so I don't mind taking Nexus damage, since after Swain I get a full life heal. So now the other thing I didn't want is block with Ribbon, because if I block with Ribbon, now they have Swain's flock to be able to kill my Ribbon, and that's not what I want. So instead of getting that quick attack, I wanted to make sure that I bounce back the Swain so I can go for a stronger hit, and then be able, as you can see here, block yet again. I mean, recall yet again. Now it's starting to become a pretty simple thing. I've gotten them down to their 16 mana. You can see here that now I am an 8/5, and honestly I wasn't playing with the fragments that well, but because this is such an easy boss, you know, this is just a Gangplank, I'm okay with making mistakes here. What I should have done is put that amount of strength on my 3/1 or on my 4/2 elusive, so that way I can use the fragment to give my Ribbon the overwhelm quick attack and the +2 with the cost of a slow spell. But you know, what else can you do? I want to save the 3 mana, or at least in my head I'm thinking I want to save this 3 mana so that way I can be able to maybe summon another elusive, or to be able to create a wider board. And so that's what I'm thinking here. now that I know, I probably won't be giving the short okay, see, but I wanted to make sure that I'm not using the fragments on something that doesn't really matter. Um, I want to attack with Riven because they need to block her. If they block someone else, I pretty much win. So they have to block Riven, and that means they are bringing down their Swain. Even if they summon their Swain right now, I have too wide of a field. I just have to block him once, and that should be game. And so that's exactly what I'm doing here. All I'm doing is, can I have a large enough board so that way I can win next turn? You saw me recall right there for a specific reason. I want to get as many blocks as possible. You can see here Riven now has the 8-5, and because I recalled last turn, Swain goes back into their hand, and now it should be a pretty easy game with the 8 and the 2. That makes it 10. Again, like I said before, we were not going to be able to recall the Swain that easily, but you know, because I've already passed this, I can tell you that it's easy. You really don't need that ability. Sorry if you hear an Amber Alert in the background. Hopefully everyone's okay. But once I finish that, because of my ability where I'm able to discard, I got the Fallen Rider just in case, you know, it will automatically just give me a random, you know, plus 4/2 Fearsome at the 2-drop. So, you know, why not use it? Outside of that, I was also able to get our new ability to refill our spell mana, which is really good, especially for Riven and Ahri. That just means every single time I basically have maximum mana, which I think is pretty good, especially for this run right here. I'm able to use that 1-drop that everyone gets in order for us to continuously destroy their powder keg, so we don't take damage from Ahri. You're gonna see here why I really wanted the Stalking Wolf. First, let me kill the rabbit, and then once I really want to, hopefully I use this where the Stalking Prey pulls in the thing that I want Ahri to also hit. So I know for a fact something is going to hit I'm going to hit the Ahri to that one dude that draws, and so that's exactly how I use it. The Stalking Wolf comes back to my hand, but that's okay because you know, I just summon it. I summon another little a rabbit on their field, but it doesn't matter too much. So I just keep on going. I'm going to summon, I believe, the Stalking Wolf, and check this out. I'm going to end my turn, and once I end my turn, I will get my Fallen Rider to be the like evolved form. I don't know what to call it. You'll see right now. I'm really just wasting mana to try and get Riven to level up, and you can see right there the Risen Rider is now that 4/2 Fearsome. Automatically, I don't need anything to discard because I'm able to get it right away. You can see here now that I've recalled the Riven, I can now resummon her and get me a second fragment. So now I have 2 fragments. My mana got recycled. I'm able to give Ahri that +2, and then I believe I'm gonna give Riven the sword. So now I have an 8/5 and 2 6/5s, and check this out. The Stalking, the wolf uses that challenger, so that way I can be able to keep getting their units. So even if I couldn't defeat them, I was able to get rid of their units, right? And so that's a lot of value. My Defiant Dance is now a 2 cost. And I'm thinking, should I cut a card? I'm gonna cut away the Pathless Ancient. It is a very slow card, especially for the earlier stuff like right now. If you're going for a wider field, maybe it's something that you should keep in mind. But for me, I really don't want it. I picked up a Homecoming buff. I also picked up a Blade Squire buff, but you know, those aren't really too big of a thing. Actually, the Blade Squire is a pretty good one because it's a free 1-drop now. I basically made it go into a 0-drop. Unluckily or unfortunately, I don't draw it right now, but I get it off of my prediction, which is pretty good. They're gonna want to attack me, but you can see the Riven right there is easily able to get the get the get my mana to go back up so I can be able to recall a unit. And it's okay if they attack my wolf. I wanted to keep my wolf there, and I did not want to protect with Riven because I was scared that the ability or the nexus of Riptide Rex was going to kill my Riven, so I wanted to keep her with 4 health as much as possible. I'm also trying to level up the Riven. As you can see here, she is now a 7/4 for this turn. I got the blade, and now I'm able to attack for a big hit. Because they have more than I do, I want to make sure that more units than I did. I was hoping that they were going to hit something else, and now that they use that vulnerable on me, it's totally okay because I am going to, if I remember correctly, homecoming to keep her alive. You can see that I'm also not trying to have too much of my units out there with only 1 or 2 life. If I'm putting my 1 or 2 units out there, they're either being recalled right now, or I need to get rid of them or I need to recall them somehow or use them as chump blockers that turn, because there is no way that I'm just gonna leave them. They'll die due to the Nexus thing right away. I'm gonna make sure that the Riven gets super beefy. Check out this. She is now a 10/3. And I have an ephemeral thanks to the 5-drop that I have. I'm going to, if I remember correctly, going to use a Scattered Paw. Look at how insanely strong it is thanks to the homecoming, right? And I get another homecoming because I decided to recall a fast spell. I decided to recall their stuff because mine is a champion and not a follower. I was able to get or trace their stuff. Now I have a 5/5 droplet, 1 drop, right? You even saw the blade, what's the guy's name? Blade Squire, cost basically free. And so I'm able to have a bunch of mana. This is a mana recycling thing. It's just something they gave me, so I won't cover it too much in the guide, but this was a really good build. I'm trying to just buff all my units across the board. I don't want to give one thing a specific buff, because I want to make sure that everyone has some sort of buff. The Ahri, honestly, I could have put the droplet, but then the droplet would reset its stats. I don't really care too much about that, and so I just wanted to keep the droplet on the field. We are going to see what do we get next. And if I remember, my last thing that I get is the Go Get It. That is a very good fast spell because I can block with something, use the Go Get It to put an ephemeral copy in its place, and then be able to resummon it at cost 0. If I have my 5-drop, then I can again get basically 2 of them. If it's a Riven, or if it's something like a Dancing Droplet or something like that, I basically get a few draws out of it. I got a lot of recall, and that's something that I really like. I don't know why I summoned the Risen Rider here, since there is no point. Because now I have to pull in the Powder Keg since it's a 3, right? I don't know why I chose that. I should have chose the Dancing Droplet since it was going to kill the Powder Keg anyway. And it's okay if my Dancing Droplet dies. I'd rather have that than the Risen Rider. But you can see that they're not attacking, and so I'm gonna say, all right, I'm gonna keep my mana, because in case I want to use a fast spell to recall, I'm gonna keep those 4 mana. It's okay if I burn a little bit of the mana right now. And they are about to deal 3 in order to kill my Stalking Wolf, and this is why I'm thinking, all right, should I let this hit me? I don't even need to heal with my Will of Ionia. It's not doing Nexus, so it's not putting me on Plunder, so I'm okay with that. If they have something for the 3 cost right now, that's when I would recall. But it's really inevitable. There was going to be more Powder Kegs anyway, so why does that even matter? Then I'm going to use this to be able to, the thing that I nabbed, to be able to get my own Powder Keg. I don't really think I'm going to use the Powder Keg anyway, but just in case. You can see here that they're kind of struggling a little bit to keep up with my board, and so I'm okay with sacrificing a few of my units. And every time the Gangplank drops, I have one way to bounce it. I have 2 turns where I can bounce the unit. So that's exactly why I'm trying to also consistently bounce my cards, so that way they can keep losing their board by using my innate ability. Like I said, you don't need this innate ability, just made it a lot easier for me to do that. You can see that I didn't really draw a recall card, so I'm going to risk it. I'm going to put quick attack on my ribbon to make sure that I can attack with her pretty nicely. In fact, I can even summon the Blade Squire. I should have gotten the Blade Squire to pull in the Powder Keg here. Since they really don't have anything for the Dancing Droplet, I can just get an extra hit off here. So that was my fault. That's something I should have done. Now, if I remember correctly, I am going to put the Powder Keg. The reason why is because the computer's most likely going to pull it in, and so it's a free blocker that I don't really care about. I don't really have anything that deals damage to them that I would need the Powder Keg. Check that out. Gangplank drops. Thanks to my innate ability since the very beginning, I'm able to constantly get that recall, and they really are not going to play Gangplank. You know, it's just something that I really like. They're just not going to be able to use it at all. I just make sure to block everything. I don't care about getting blade fragments. I'm going to be using them anyway. You can see that I'm using them right now because I'm going to run out of space in my hand, right? And that's okay. If anything, I should have passed to see if they had anything for the Powder Keg before doing all of this, because right here I am overcommitting. If they have anything like Gangplank's Parlay, one of my, it's dealing 4 damage, so I should have been a little bit more mindful. The thing that I made sure not to pass is that 20 life nexus. With Ahri having the Dreadaway out, is it the Dreadaway? I think so. It's very tough, so I want to make sure I kill them before they reach that 20 nexus. That's why you see me keep them at 21. I think that's why I decided not to pull in the Blade Squire, because I remember thinking about that, but I was wondering why it wasn't working. But now I know. I'm just making sure everything is safe right here. Now I got one of those one of the misfortunes things, but that is enough. Thank you so much. Oh, dropped my headphones, sorry guys. Thank you so much for watching. Quick guide to this one. It's such an easy one. Focus on recalls and focus on whiteboards. Whiteboards are really good, except for in Gangplank. In Gangplank, you should try to keep Gangplank away from the field as much as possible. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to get me monetized. That is something that I really look forward to. And I shall see you next time for the next few champions. I'm so excited. Peace.